Welcome back to the Gist English Masterclass. Today's explainer is all about modernizing your professional vocabulary by shifting to gender-neutral titles. We're going to take a really close look at how the language of the modern workplace has evolved. Because here's the truth. Modern communication, it's not just about nailing the perfect grammar. It's equally about respect, professionalism, and frankly, having a really acute awareness of your environment. Here's our syllabus for today. We're going to cover why neutral titles matter, then dive into everyday and service roles, tackle workplace titles, check out media and arts roles, and finally wrap up with the golden rule of modern communication. All right, Section 1, Why Neutral Titles Matter. Let's upgrade your professional communication. So, historically, English job titles were heavily peppered with words like man, woman, boy, or girl. Terms like policeman or salesman. But using those today, it can honestly make you sound pretty old-fashioned. And that brings us to the foundational concept of this masterclass, the gender-neutral title. This is a title that completely removes any assumption about who is doing the job, placing all the values squarely on the work itself. The core philosophy you really need to remember is simply this: focus on the function, not the gender. If you do this, your language instantly becomes more inclusive and actually a lot more accurate. Because at the end of the day, you're talking about the actual work being done rather than making assumptions about the person doing it. Moving right along to Section 2, Everyday and Service Roles. Let's transition from outdated to modern. Take a look at this one. Notice the immediate upgrade in the tone here? Swapping waitress for server instantly neutralizes the sentence. This is super useful in restaurants, hotels, cafes, really any general customer service context. Server doesn't tell us if the person handing us the menu is male or female because, let's be real, it doesn't need to. It just tells us their professional function. And this next one brilliantly illustrates how a simple word swap actually elevates a role. Cleaning lady. It sounds incredibly informal, right? Very rooted in the past. But saying the cleaner, or even better, the cleaning professional, that sounds significantly more respectful and is definitely more suited for a modern workplace. Now, here's a word that pops up all the time in complex fields. Let's say a doctor is explaining a super complicated medical diagnosis, but doing it in plain English. Saying they explained it for a lay person sounds so much more respectful and current than the dusty, outdated term layman. It acknowledges that literally anyone of any gender could be outside of that specific medical specialty. Okay, Section 3, Business and Workplace Titles. Time to elevate that corporate communication. Let's step right into the corporate office and look at this job announcement scenario. If an HR department posts that old version saying they're looking for a salesman, while they're subconsciously signaling a pretty dated corporate culture. But the modern version, saying we're looking for a sales representative, it sounds so much more open and professional. It's cut out for today's diverse workplace. And most importantly, it invites the absolute best talent regardless of who they are. Ever found yourself wondering how to address the person running a meeting? Honestly, just use chair. It's short, it's completely neutral, and it's perfectly formal for all your business communication. Chairperson or head of the committee work fine too, but chair is definitely the crispest, most modern option you can go with. Now, the term manpower. It is definitely still lingering around in some older industries. But get this, here's a really surprising fact. Modern HR departments actually use software to actively filter the word manpower right out of job descriptions. Using staff, personnel, or workforce instead sounds way more inclusive and perfectly reflects what a modern team actually looks like. We are covering a ton of great ground here. If you are following the explanation, then click the like button. It really helps us know that this masterclass format is working well for you. Let's jump into Section 4, Media, Arts, and Entertainment, checking out the new industry standards. If you watch the Oscars or any award shows, you've probably noticed a massive shift happening here. Today, a lot of professionals use actor for everyone. It has become the absolute gold standard in serious discussions about film and theater. The older term actress is mostly just reserved for entertainment journalism now, or when it's personally preferred by the individual. When in doubt, actor is for sure your safest, most neutral professional term. And this shift perfectly demonstrates what's happening in broadcasting too. Instead of focusing on the gender of the person behind the lens or sitting at the desk, the industry is focusing entirely on the equipment they operate. So they're a camera operator, or the desk they anchor, they're a news anchor. It's simple, highly functional, and very professional. Finally, Section 5, the Golden Professional Rule. Think of this as your communication cheat sheet. Let's bring all this together. Just look at the pattern here. Replacing these older terms with modern functions instantly polishes your international business English. So a stewardess becomes a flight attendant. A businessman upgrades to a business professional or entrepreneur. A foreman becomes a supervisor, throwing out things like fireman or postman for firefighter and postal worker. Using these modern terms commands respect. It shows people that you truly understand modern workplace expectations. So, what does this all mean? Does this mean we can never, ever mention gender? Well, no, of course not. Sometimes gender is highly relevant to whatever topic you're discussing. But the golden rule is actually pretty simple. Unless gender is a necessary part of the conversation, just stick to neutral language. Choose the professional title that actually describes the role. That way, you're always communicating with absolute clarity and respect. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Take a really close look at your own resume, check your email signature, maybe glance at your LinkedIn profile. Are your titles tethered to the past, or are you signaling that you are fully ready for the future of work? Think about it, try applying these upgrades, and see you in the next class.